Are you tired of feeling like your wife wants too much from you, or whatever you do is just simply not enough and you feel like you're just not good enough? I'm going to talk about in this video what you should do. Hi, I'm Suzette the Marriage Warrior, and I am here to empower you husbands in a way that you can effectively lead your marriage and feel like the man God created you to be, with total dominion and control over everything. And I'm going to give you some tools. Okay, so the guys that I hear from always feel inadequate with their wives. Like, oh, it's never enough for her. She always wants something more from me. And what that is doing to your mindset and your belief system is making you feel like a victim. Victimization destroys relationship. Not only the relationship, but it's going to destroy you in the end. Because the not good enough situation or inadequate feeling is really coming from something that happened in your past that you have not dealt with, and your wife trying to, plug along and get us together and get us connected is triggering that in you. So first order of business is to stop the victimization. Change your mindset to where, okay, I'm not a victim. I am feeling inadequate, but she's asking me to do certain things to partner with me, and somehow I'm not partnering with her, and I'm getting offended when she's asking, and then I'm saying I'm inadequate and she wants too much. I mean, some of the things that the women bring to me that they want from the man are so simple. I mean, you guys can do this with your hands behind your back and blindfolded, and you're just resisting and resisting and resisting because of that inadequate wound that came from before you got married. It was, kind of hiding in the closets back there. And so you have to get to the point where you no longer victimize in inadequacy and really sit down to try to listen, because that inadequacy is a wound that then has a defense mechanism, and your defense posture is, I'm just not good enough. So see, that protects you from trying to be good enough and trying to do what it is that she's needing you to do to partner. So you got to be careful, because defense mechanisms are destroyers of marriages. I mean, that's how I get the business I get, is because everybody's operating in their coping mechanisms that are defensive postures. Then they're fighting. One has this defensive posture, another one has this defensive posture, and they're fighting all the time. So you've got to see that as it is if you're feeling inadequate, because if you are, you're going to resist everything she's asking you to do, and there's not going to be a partnership, and she's going to eventually feel you don't care, you don't love her. She starts telling herself these stories and believing a lie as well, and then you feel like, well, I'm not good enough. So if I'm not good enough, I'm just going to lay down anything that she wants me to do and just not be good enough. So you become your own worst enemy by checking out like that. Okay, so the other thing is there's a lack of emotional intimacy in your marriage. So this term, men don't really know what that means. Y'all know what sexual intimacy is, but emotional intimacy, you're not really understanding what that is. That means vulnerability, openness, being able to share and express your feelings to one another, that then it makes an emotional connection. So you have to be able to be open enough to express it. And expressing that I ain't ever good enough for you is not vulnerability. That is your wound talking through your coping mechanism, and your defense posture is what she feels. Then that's a blame shifting tactic. I'm not good enough for you, meaning you have the problem, not me. Okay? You're expecting too much, not me. Instead of you dismissing all of that I just talked about and saying, okay, what are the issues you're having? Here are the issues I'm having, and there's a lack of communication between y'all, so you got to fix that so that you can start communicating. And it's not about you guys saying, what do you want from me? Okay, I'll do that. And not expressing your own emotions, because you have offenses, you have emotions, you need to express that. She shouldn't trump yours. And if there is a lack of communication, you need to tell her, we're not communicating enough. I'm not sharing my feelings enough because I have some offenses with you too. And I'm afraid to bring them up to you, because if I bring them up to you, you're going to dismiss them because your feelings have to be more important to me. Say that phrase to her. And if you say that statement, then she's got to recognize that she's creating a toxic dynamic with y'all where she's really just wanting you to lead first. Really? So if you can understand that if she's trumping you, well, but my feelings are such and such, and my feelings are such and you're like, I just told her my feelings and she doesn't care. If that's going on, she's really just wanting you to lead first. So you might say, okay, we're going to take your issue first. That's leadership. Take your issue first and talk about how you're offended with that. And then let's bring us into compromise and bring us into solution. Now, my turn. We're going to take my issue with you, and then you, leader, have to bring y'all into compromise and bring y'all into solution. That is going to settle a woman down because you're taking charge in a very effective, communicative way that she's going to feel protected by you, which is her main need in order to get secure. And remember, when she gets secured, she's going to then give you everything you need, which is to be desired and respected by her, specifically by her. Okay. So if you are understanding that the conversations are going, the agreements are made, and there's a plan of action, and the continued habit of the past is present, you got some issues with yourself, because you need to look at victimization and inadequacy and I'm not good enough and she just wants too much. Listen, that may be true some of the time, but most of the time it is not. Most of the time, what you're hearing is not what she's saying. You're hearing you're inadequate and not enough. She wouldn't be with you if you were enough. So you have to recognize you're enough for her, and you need to be enough to be able to communicate with her.